What's up, everybody? DRJ here, bringing you some more, you guessed it, CoD PC Black Ops. So, the reason why, well, the biggest reason why I want to show you guys this clip today is this clip for me essentially represents a turning point in how I'm starting to approach the game. So I think I'm running sleight of hand in this. But essentially, regardless of whether you're playing on PC or console, starting to realize the efficiency of essentially ADSing. One of the big bonuses to using it on PC is the ability to move my mouse back and forth, use your aim look without being penalized. There's no movement penalty associated. Well, there's a movement penalty associated with using mouse aim, but my actual aim itself does not slow down at all, whereas on a console it does. Essentially, what this means is, after I sort of figured this out and was playing around with it, is that it requires better and more precise aim as opposed to, say, hip firing, but it's far more lethal to essentially ADS on every single shot. And it's kind of frustrating because, well, there's something else that I need to work on, which is essentially not sprinting around corners. Same thing happened to me in COD4, just have to learn. It's frustrating to think that ADSing is just so popular and so prevalent. It's the best move to do, regardless of the gun that you're using. And obviously maybe not shotguns, but like I've said before, when you're excuse me, when you're ADSing as much as you are, when it's required for you to do that much ADSing that often, to me it defeats the purpose of having an ADS feature. If there wasn't a movement penalty applied to it, I would literally have, I don't know, I would think about essentially taping down my right mouse button the entire game. So I guess that's a good thing there's a movement and a penalty applied to it, but it's so lethal to simply ADS that, like I said, that's one of the things that I'm starting to change my opinion on, at least in this game. Far more effective than I initially gave it credit for. In this round specifically, you'll see me about halfway through, things start clicking. I think some of the common issues that I have with this game are some of the common problems that I face. This is a great one right there. That's a good example. Where if I start to shoot somebody and I don't take him down in the first 1 to 2 seconds, standing there and trying to finish him off, especially while I'm being shot, is simply not going to happen. So basically starting and finishing fights as soon as possible. If you're not finishing them, basically getting the fuck out of dodge. Another one of the common examples is when I'm taking hits. Maybe is it this room coming up? Yes, it is. So I take down this guy, right? And then, so I've taken a few hits. This guy is standing behind a car that he can shoot over without being shot at, and essentially it was moronically stupid to take that guy on, being at whatever half or 1/4 health, or whatever the fuck health I was at, while he has amazingly defensive cover like that. So the guy that killed me, that was funny, actually was hiding behind the car. It wasn't the guy that I was shooting at, although it looked like it was. So things like that, I think, all go into making, myself, a smarter, more effective player at this game. And I don't want to say, I don't know, I'm a little tempted to say, I guess the things that I'm talking about, changing this style of play to me, wow. You could do some of those things, like, say, in the Battlefield series of games, and you would do fine, but you wouldn't do as well. You would never get these amazing ball banger scores that, like, say, I would tend to bring down in matches or pubbing or whatever. Like, you could do well, but you would never just do absurdly well. You would do fine, but you would never do great. And the biggest difference is it doesn't have to be a game, I don't think, that caters necessarily to aggressive play, but having a game that doesn't prevent that, or doesn't restrict that, or doesn't work against it. A lot of you guys, are very quick to point out things like, well, yeah, this does essentially because, things like kill streaks. Well, I think you can have kill streaks in just about any game, and I don't know that it would actually change a whole lot, to be honest with you. I think the biggest impacts on defensive style play in this game, are things like the map design and the radar, and just how the game is designed and developed in general. Having this many different points to shoot and be shot at from any given point in the map, and kill streaks definitely don't help. But that's, like I said, I think those are the far greater factors on the map. You could probably eliminate kill streaks altogether, and I don't think it would really change anything from this game. You could probably add in death streaks and people die repeatedly and shit. I don't know whether that would change a whole lot. Although it was interesting. Supposedly they were in Modern Warfare 2. Never played it. One of the other things that I want to, well, actually before I get into that, I want to say this. So I briefly mentioned this not necessarily taking as much skill. Well, you know, any game takes skill to do well at, right? Like it takes essentially time played, and it takes somebody figuring out what the fuck is going on to do well. Anybody that does well on, you know, this game on any system, doesn't matter whether they're playing PC, console, whatever, they've obviously figured out whatever works for them, and they're doing well. So I mean, that takes some amount of skill to do that. What I think the issue I have with this game is essentially like the kinds of things that I'm figuring out that I need to start doing just feels so cheese dick. So here's a great example. It's, I don't know. What I would have done before is just beeline it over to that window, and that guy would have had a clear shot on me. Also, what I did with that guy, it just saw I'd already started applying what I had learned a few seconds ago, is when I was shooting that guy, I started fading off out behind the wall, and because I wasn't killing him the first 2 seconds. I ended up, did get the kill on that guy, but gosh, well, there we go. So you might have got a little too aggressive there. I wasn't paying attention to my radar. Got gangbanged by 3 of them at the same time. But the kinds of things that it takes in order to do really well at this game, I feel like are the types of things that I just really, really do not like doing. I know that that's what, it's hard for me, I think it's hard for me to play. Initially it was hard for me to play well at this game. It still is, because I feel like the things that it demands of me are things that are not fun in a first-person shooter. The things that are fun and engaging are, you know, trying to take on, you know, 1 to 2 guys at a time, you know, imano. They're not simply hanging around in back and taking pot shots at somebody's legs or something like that before he even knows you're there. And like I said, that's a huge factor on the whole overall game mechanics and map design and things like that, that you can take so many shots from such a long range and have somebody destroyed before they ever, you know, can ever react. Anyway, real quickly, I just want to move on and talk a little bit about the montage stuff. So it was really interesting to see some of the feedback I got from that, because there were a few people, I don't want to name any names, but actually that said, you know, I didn't have really kind things to say about it, and it was interesting because I was told that more or less the reason why people would hate the montage and why it was garbage was because it didn't have any big name kill streaks and things like that. And I think what I find fascinating about that is, not that I take offense to that, it's sad that they thought that, because I, well, partly specifically chose the clips that I did because I wanted to emphasize the smarter style gameplay versus massive kill streaks. But two, I did actually look at some of the more classic CoD clips, and what was so fascinating was the types of opportunities that they seem to be presented with in those montages. I have yet to see in my time playing this game. It could be maybe I'm not good enough. I'm having a hard time believing that, because I tend to score first every time, regardless whether or not my team wins or loses. But and regardless of the side, which is crazy. But maybe it's my time played. You know, I have say 18 hours, 20 hours. I'm still not maximum rank on this game, if that gives you an idea of how little I've played on PC. Like I said, I think I hit 47 at the end of this, and I think I'm 49 or something like that. So, I just don't know. Like I said, the things that I saw in those clips are things like, you know, essentially, in my mind, it looks like waves of drones attacking them, and they aren't attacking, well, they're attacking the drones, and the drones, aka players, are just simply not attacking back. By the way, I just glanced over the same guy sitting on the flag twice. It was terrible. Anyway, it was bizarre. Like, when I saw clips like that in those montages, I have never seen anything like that when playing this game. I think one of the biggest differences, I had somebody else point out the fact that it's easier to get 4 or 5 kill streaks in a ground war game, and that may be true, which, you know, I'm not playing ground war, I'm playing native PC, whatever. But every time that I get 4 to 5, 6 kill streaks of guys that are coming in really quick, it's people that are constantly, like, I don't know, they already have me under fire, and to take, you know, like 4 to 5, 6 guys on, especially like, you know, in the same room. I mean, that's just not very easy, and I don't see that kind of stuff on CoD. Like the clips that I'm looking at is basically some guy just railing these morons essentially in the back or even in the front, and they're just not reacting. I don't know if it's like a PC or console thing, or if, you know, maybe there's only one server up here, and so the players that are playing are more experienced. I don't know. But I have not seen those opportunities, and I highly doubt that I will see them before this game ends. So just very, very interesting. If any of you guys have played both games, I would love to hear your experience or your take. Both games as far as console and PC versions. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. This clip has already run out, and stay tuned for more.